said, like, in class, move in the natural reaction to movement, to music. But yeah, so like that, so like me falling in love with music is falling in love with dance. Watching how like trees move and the wind is me falling in love with dance. It's weird. Like, but I'm also just like background. I'm Ethiopian, so I was born in LA. But my parents came here from Ethiopia about 25 to 30 years ago. So Ethiopian dance, which is called Iskustala, that's been a huge part of my life since I don't even know. And I remember watching this interview, Choreography did this whole thing about the African diaspora and how people in different countries, meaning like US and Kami, and then like Ethiopia and Iskustala, doing similar movements, yet having no idea who, and like having no way of, what's the word, like copying each other. There was no like social media way to figure that out, but for some reason these black people in two different places are dancing the same. But I think it's, for me personally, it's that being so connected to like my roots, and I'm so grateful for that. I think it's something, it's a soul, spirit. I've always danced. But what's crazy is I've only been dancing for maybe 7 years. I started 2014 and 2015 really. And I don't know, I think it was just me loving music and loving culture and loving people that made me want to dig deeper into culture, right? So the music, the history, the art, the types of art. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how I fell in love with dance. So I never pinpointed, but I can give you examples of like, there's this event called Utopia out here in LA, House DJ event. The way that in Lamar Park, you don't know where that is, it's cool, Google it, we'd be cute. The way that they're like, massive amounts of, not just people, but black people, just dancing to house music, but like, not like, but like just, oh my God, that shit's beautiful. Like, other people enjoying dance is what makes me fall in love with it. It's not me dancing. And that's why I don't even do like songs and shit. I'm recording stuff all the time. Like, it's not me, it's like the energy exchange and the cultural exchange. Because it's not just black people out there though, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's nice to see black people get down, and then it's so nice to see so many different people come and be on the same tip. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes me fall in love with it. Stuff like energy, that pure energy exchange. I don't know. I think it was a stupid answer. But like something about like, yeah, I don't know. Hip hop, bro, but that's not some music shit. Like the way that hip hop was just moving in the US, like even the social, like where we was like Turkian era and stuff like that. Like girls in my building used to clown it, right? And they used to come and be like, we do things and stuff, and then just them like us just doing this outside in the summer, breaking what is it called, sprinklers to cool off, like shit like that. Like that's what makes me fall in love with it. It's weird, like yeah, it's like the story of the people and like the energy exchange between people. It's like 3 times. But that's it. Y'all can laugh. This is not gonna be. I'm a super candid person. Like I'm not eloquently like put together what I don't want to be. I can try, but it ain't gonna work for me. I just didn't. You know, I'm feeling a little rugged and loose. So like, y'all can just ha ha he he. It's gonna make me feel better. We can like have a real conversation here.
Also, if anyone has a question about all of this,
Oh my! Thank you so much. That means a lot. Oh, thank you.
How do you do that?
Hey, you gotta fail. The amount of time that I was like, I'm ready. This is the look. And I'm like, poo. And I look in the mirror and I say, you're gonna stay home today, and it's not the time. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, finding how I like to express myself. Like each day is really, really powerful. Even with like outfits. I never used to dress like this, but I actually got that advice from my sister. My younger sister is like very open and expressive with her fashion and even her makeup, and I get a lot of tips from her. But she told me that there's a lot of power in wearing what you want to wear or doing your makeup how you want to do it. That is how you like. I like in the most respectful way. I don't care if everybody in this room thought I looked whack. I think I look fucking fantastic, and that is the energy that I'm going to give for the rest of the day. And I know that it's different. And I also think it's very different to see how your own personal light can either gravitate other people's light or it exercises the demons in other people. So you being expressive makes other people feel like, oh, I'm not being expressive. And then they project that onto you in disgust. So there's part of it that you need to be confident enough to walk down the street and see people be like, ugh, and then keep it pushing. And now I've experienced people looking at me, not knowing, and like feeling disgust when they see me walk in my light and my power, but it is because I truly feel like this is how I want to dress, this is how I want to express myself with my makeup, and if people don't like it, that's fine. So I've gotten to this point because I have become okay with not being liked by everybody as long as I'm liked by myself. So thank you. Thank you for saying that, though. That means a lot. So yeah.
What would you say is the first step to accepting failure?
Accepting failure. Accepting.
I think knowing that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, right. Doing
You know,
it.
that sounds so crazy, but like the word, like knowing that that exists.
Yeah.
You're done. That's it. There you go. You don't have to accept it. You just have to like create space for it. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to fail. You don't have to be like, oh, I took the L. Like it's not that. The L's here. Okay.
Yeah.
And the W will come. You know what I mean? Like I don't always. I try not to like bash on myself when I'm not doing well. I do like. I guess accept kind of brings it within. I just let it here. Like I keep it in my like you sit. You there. It's cool. And then I'm gonna get this W and that's what's happening. You know what I mean? But that's just me being honest. But yeah, I think something about just acknowledging that that's like the stepping stone and it's okay. And like again, I don't want to bring like I'm failing because that gives me I don't know. Just saying that right now makes me feel like this. I don't want to do that, but I want to like. Is it a failure or is it you being true to like how your body moves? If we're just talking about dance, right? Is it you just being true to how you learn and this and that, and maybe you just have to adjust in a different way rather than trying to find going on the same track mind that everyone else is going on. You may to get to the same point, you just may need to take a different route. Doesn't mean it takes longer. It's just different, you know. But I think that I don't know what an L like again context, right? I don't know what a failure is. If really it's just like maybe you're not you personally, but maybe I'm like I mean, sometimes I feel like when I feel like I failed, it's because I was trying to do something else. Because really, I think what's beautiful about all of us is that we're like good at things and bad at things. If I was the same thing of everything, would I be who I am? You see what I'm saying? If I was like, okay, I'll stay with dance because it's easier. If I was like super strong and super smooth, no, sorry. You already know what I don't like. If I was super strong, but super smooth, but super sharp, but super this and that, you know what I'm saying? If styles, right? House, hip hop, whacking. If I did all of them at the same level, who am I? Not trying to dog anyone who does that, but I feel like there's a beauty in like hip hop shining through for me, and house shining through for me, and maybe whacking and locking and popping. They're not as strong, but these like building them up, not to be at the same level, building them up to a certain degree that I feel comfortable. And I honestly might just help me accelerate this too. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think being, and this just dove into something else. I don't think failing like, I think failing is more figuring out who you are really. You don't have to like everything. I'm not, like I'm extroverted, yes I'm introverted, but I'm not just that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, there's like levels to all of it that make, like it's all, like it makes us, like my frequency, all my levels are going to be different than your levels, you know what I'm saying? She's better.
I think for my personal journey, I think what helped me accept failure is, in my personal journey, failure is the first step to success for me. I know I'm not on the right path if I don't fail first. You have to fail first in order to know that you're on the correct path. So for example, I didn't know how bad I wanted to win a competition until I lost my first one. If I had won the first competition I went to, I wouldn't have had the hunger and the drive to prove myself and to be like, you know what, I actually never want to lose again. Failure lets your body know that you never want to experience that again, and it gives you the tools to figure out how not to. So failure is not the rock bottom end all be all. It is like the step right here where you're like, if you take this as a failure, you'll be here. If you take this as a stepping stone, you're going to do that. So for me, You could take an L, but two L's equal a W. So you have to get to that first L first before you can get to that W. I mean that so seriously. So that's how I feel good, because if I'm failing, that means that I'm on the journey and that success is near. I just have to push for it. If I'm stagnant, that means that I don't know where I am. I would rather be the worst student in the room than somebody who is stagnant, that can just get the 4.0 and that's fine. I would rather fail, feel like shit, and then go home and be like, fuck, how do I get out of this? Now that feeling is how you get to success. That feeling of being in that failure energy, you haven't failed, but you're too close to rock bottom for your soul and spirit to feel good, but then you have to figure out the tools of how to get you there. So take failure as like the first step of success. Okay, teaching before I feel like I'm going through that right now. I'm trying to revamp, yeah, like my creative fulfillment or like teaching and performing. I do think that performing is why I love dancing. I'm in like entertainment, so that is why I perform even when I teach class. So teaching has turned into a performance, or has turned into that creative expression for me. And how I establish that is teaching my friends first. Establish your own content with people that you trust, people that you care about. And to be honest, that started with me and her in lot 4, 6 years ago. It was like, hey, do you want to learn this? Hey, I have a competition. Hey, do you want to do HHI? And we were in lot 7, we were in lot 4. Parking lot, boop, 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 nobody watching. And a lot of it comes from that like familiar support. Like, because I knew that me and Ruthie were on the same journey, because I resonated with her as a human being, not as a dancer, not as a product. I didn't see like, oh my God, she's so great. I mean, she was great, obviously, but it's not like, what can I get from her dance-wise? Let me have her be on my team. No, I fucked with her as a person. And then through that relationship, we've gotten to this place now. So I think that once you establish the people around you or your close circle of people, it doesn't matter what level. It matters if you resonate with them. Teach them a combo. Establish that, or put a piece together, put it up on Instagram. It doesn't matter, you don't know who's going to see your content, but Instagram it can be your resume. Straight up, you post something on Instagram, you never know who's going to see it. Tag the artist, tag the other people who are featured in that song, tag people who you feel like would kill this choreography. You got to be bold in it, but you also have to be confident enough in yourself to promote yourself as a product, but not take the validation as a product. You have to promote yourself as a product and then receive feedback as a human being. And that's a tough thing to do, but you cannot do that unless you have people around you that care about you, not as a product, but as a human being. I know that if I stopped dancing 2 days, Ruthie would still be in my life. I cannot say that about the other people that I'm surrounded by in my career. Those people that are, quote unquote, the next gen of boom boom, those people wouldn't care. Like, in the most respectful way, some people in this dance community would not care if I live or die. But they do care when I have something to offer them, teaching-wise, performance-wise. If I have a performance coming up, all of a sudden people start coming up towards me being like, hey, how are you doing? That type of stuff you need to be able to figure out. Because your best art, the art that's going to get you where you need to go, it can only happen in a safe space, mentally and physically. Mentally, it needs to be with people that you care about. Physically, it needs to be in the environments that you occupy yourself with. So first, figure out that mental space, and then the environment that will resonate with your work will open up to you.
Just to add on a little bit, I think there's a lot of dancers who end up looking the same, which I'm coming from more of teaching, maybe not like dancing, because I don't have any experience in dancing. You know me, I don't look like nobody, I ain't gonna do it. My body will not let me anymore, like it's crazy. But coming from like a teaching standpoint and the like creative, like if you wanted to do something on stage or something, a performance, even like when you're creating, start or even just like labbing up your movement. You know how we talked about this and how it was just such basic movement. The way that you make it your own is combining it in the way that makes sense for like your body, and not what you think looks cool or what you think people are doing and what they're gonna receive what. Because there are trends, music-wise, movement-wise. You know what I'm saying? Trying to like stay away from that you can have influencers. We all gain influencers for each other, but it's like taking your lens as a person and putting it in movement. So like I told you, like trees. That's crazy. The first example that popped out of my mind was trees when we was talking about dance. I'll be this bitch. You think I'm joking though? Like I made that connection right now in this space with you. Just saying. Like that was not something that's predetermined. I said trees because it's something that resonated with me as a human, right? And I dance, if you've ever seen me freestyle, it's a lot of big circles. And it's got it flowy, yeah? So like I use that and it inspires my freestyle. I use me being an Ethiopian, Black, Los Angeles native, 24 years old, Capricorn, but you know what I'm saying? It's using all the people that you've met and the energies, because there is nobody else like you. It's crazy. So why is your movement like everybody else? You see what I'm saying? It's because of society, like we're that one trap, you know what I'm saying? So do all that for sure. And then when it comes to the creative side of things, try to figure out what you like. And sometimes that's by listening to music and dancing to music that you actually enjoy, rather than music that's going to get people happy or make people feel something. That's take an artist that really resonates with you, dive into an artist. I do that all the time in months. I'll be like, all right, we're doing West Coast hip hop. All right, LA. Okay, Bay Area. And I'll choose an artist and I'll go through it. Recently I did a producer, and these three will know this, like, and I talked to 3 of his songs, and I feel like I got deeper into my dance and into like him. And I know this producer, he's a friend of mine. And like as I was like, and I feel like these are like my best 3 pieces, and it's only February, like I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I never realized like how much it like means to just listen to music that really like speaks to you and then just react. It's not the hardest pieces, but my best pieces. I've done harder. Crazy. Anyway, but that's just like something on this side. You're so late, yeah. My back is cold.
When you're learning, how do you like enjoy something? You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I wanted to come up to you during class. You killed me in class. Like, so I think personally, like I was really going to like, I was on the other side. I was on the other side of the thing, and I was like, who is that? So first of all, I want to applaud you in your learning ability, because I watched you as you were learning as well. That is why you were able to get the combo the way that you did, because you paid attention the entire time. You were doing what you needed to do. So as a student, you understand yourself very well, and I hope that you can feel that. So that's number 1. So great job today, period. For me, I'm an anxious person. I'm so like, I just get overwhelmed, and I also overthink, especially in class. So it's that mental safe space for me. So sometimes I have to close my eyes and figure out, okay, what environment would I have to be in to do this piece in the most comfortable way? Sometimes that would be, okay, I feel kind of anxious right now, but if I had to do this piece in a freestyle circle with all of my closest friends, I would be fine. That's where I'm going to learn the piece from, so that at least my like nervous system can be calm, and then I can actually focus on the movement. So in the sense of like mentality, that's the best for me. In the sense of like physically in your technical body, I have to extend. A lot of the times I get lazy, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna mark it until groups. I know that I'm the type of person that while everyone else gets water, I need to go, okay, big, T, boom. I have to do that process myself. I can't wait for the teacher to do it. But during class, I'll probably do this because I don't have a lot of room. But if I don't take that time, because I know my body, to do it super slow on my own while everyone else is doing what they're doing, I'm not going to get the combo. That's just like my own body. So I think you need to figure out how you learn as a student. So I would go back into, how do you learn when you're in a lecture? What helps you? For me, sometimes it's chewing gum, doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing in the space, or doing other homework in my other lectures. Sometimes that's what happens for me. So sometimes if I get into a class and I'm like zoning out, let me chew gum. That's gonna have to work. Or, okay, I'm gonna practice my own piece for a little second, get myself out of that. Okay, let me return to this. You have to figure out how you are as a student, not just a dancer, and then you can blend those 2 things together. So I would say maybe think about how do you best retain information when you have to study for a test, and then try to blend that with how you can be a better student in like the dance studio, if that makes sense. But I do want to stress that I think you already have it. I think you asked, yeah, I think you asked that question because you're very proficient in it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you're asking this question because I think everybody needs to hear it. But you of everybody in this room has that. So just wanted to let you know that. But thank you for asking that question. But yeah, great job.
Just to add on this when it comes to like, let me just say this piece to be honest with it, right? I think of flow rather than moves. That's why I don't do counts because we get so caught up in wait, what's wrong, Corey? What? Okay, I forgot. But we get it 1, 2, and I think of stomps. 2, like just stomp, stomp, and stomp. Like just 3 stomps. Stomp, 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 lift, lift, and it has like this flow in that 8 count that makes sense. This doesn't feel like 4 separate sets. It feels like one move. So I kind of go and take an 8 count piece and condense it to like almost 1 8 count. So taking each of those 8 counts and making it one, like it's just one flow for this piece in particular. But in a lot of classes that are super technical, start to do that. Create the flow for them. If the teacher doesn't necessarily teach like that, start to think of your flow. Think about these, and again, it depends on your learning style, but this is just like tidbits for everyone. That's the way that I need it. I'm like, bigger picture. Because the little like technicality, I'm not gonna remember 1, 2. If you was like, all right, we're gonna go 1, 2, I'm gonna be like, teach me the whole 8 count and let's just go. That's me. But I think the flow helps you not like stress brain. What? How we were doing this, and it's like you learned 2 8 counts in a span of 5 minutes. I checked. It was like 5 minutes, guys, because it was 1 move for that 1 8 count, and then 1 move for that other 8 count. So we learned 2 counts. You see what I'm saying? So learning about flow, and then meaning using your own body, your own weight exchange to create your own flow. When I'm doing a isolated piece, like that was so good. But like, how does my body do it? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that. And I think also music helps. Connecting to music rather than counts. So as soon as you get that track, listen, feel, and like try to understand, not like, oh, where did the counts fit on the music? Oh, what's the musicality that she was hitting? Just understanding the music. It repeats. Especially like after 4 8 counts, like by the middle of the class, it repeats itself. Yeah? So really taking those 4 8s and being, all right, now you really know the song. You're gonna learn another 4, but the musicality ain't gonna trip you up no more. So now it's like you start to like lighten your load a little bit. Yeah. So always think about that. I think it's like how do you make things simplified? Because we tend to in this community over. I'll learn like moves, right? And they'll be like, they'll just go. And that's it. I'll be like, but what's the fuck? It does whatever you want. Just get that vibe going, you know? What am I doing? You better. I start juking on you better. Anyways, but it's like that. It's like letting your body just do what it does and not worrying about the little things. Because it's not about that, right? Never. I said next and something. Next. But I meant like, Ruthie, you need to stop.
What do you do if like you're in a class but your energy's like really low, like you're really tired?
What to do?
It depends on how much energy you have left to give and how much energy you're willing to spend. I'm a huge energy person, not just because I have a lot of energy, but I feed off of energy. And if you take class, I'll explain it in detail, we'll do exercises for it. But I think sometimes you don't have a lot of energy because you're spending all of that energy for yourself. So for me, when I take class, when I start like, oh, I don't have a lot of energy, I bring my energy out. I start cheering for other people because they might need that energy more than me. And then they turn around and then they're like, okay, she's cheering, oh cool, I'm gonna cheer for her too. And then I end up getting energy. If you ask, you receive. So in that same sense, if I don't have a lot of energy, I'm going to expect that the whole room probably doesn't have a lot of energy either. So I can be that catalyst to be like, woo, let's go! And then somebody's gonna ripple effect. And if somebody ripple effects there, the people around them are gonna feel that energy too. So sometimes it just takes you expending a little bit more energy, not for yourself, but for somebody else to ignite that kind of like chain reaction and effect. Because again, like you feel the energy around you. It's not just you. So if somebody's like whoo, 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 right next to you, you may not get all of that energy, but your energy will raise like 1-2%. Same thing. Yeah. So if you feel yourself not having a lot of energy within yourself, maybe it's because you're holding it all in here. Sometimes you need to project that out and then receive more than you gave out. So if I have like 3% energy and I give out 1%, most likely I'll get 4% back because the people around me have a little bit more and they see that and they feel that. So if I don't have a lot of energy, I usually give it out. But it's different with each person. But for me personally, that's what works for me.
Yeah, I think I talk about cultivating energy a lot. So from the jump, I'm talking. I think I'm very, very backward. I don't think professionalism or when we talk about class etiquette, there's a lot of things that I don't resonate with. I'm like, talk. Y'all can talk to each other. Y'all can be talking to each other. Maybe not. You won't hear me. But like, y'all could be talking to each other in a class to a certain degree, like just playing around and this and that. It creates this like buzz. It's not like you're over here, you know what I'm saying? It's not that. It's just me in the room, front or back. You're not distracting anybody, especially in a space like this, where the reason why the energy is probably lower is because the ceiling is high. Yeah. So it doesn't. So when you give it out, it takes a lot more for it to come back on top of yourself. I personally love that because I start to like wild out. That's me. When I'm in a space with like low ceilings, I personally tend to get like shy almost. Even up here, I dance different. It was weird, bro. I was like, what am I doing? Let me be taller. Anyway, but something about like the spaces are like a huge thing to take into account. So sometimes you're like, man, I'm feeling really drained. I'm like, do you feel really drained, or do you feel like you send out your energy and it's still coming back? It's gonna take, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to take those into account too. And then also, just because things are low energy doesn't mean that you're not having a great time. I think that's something that I'm learning now. I used to be a very full out person, but I'm learning like patience, and it's a different patience. It's like something so peaceful. Peaceful's still a good word, right? But we talk about like low energy, but peace is low-key low. You know what I mean? It feels like that for me, right? So I think if you feel like it's low energy, don't let that also kill your vibe. Because low energy doesn't mean like a lot of y'all I was kind of surprised. I know y'all are tired though, but it's always like are they tired? Are they like stressed? Are they not having a good time? I get really worried. But I know that the tired creates more stress. But what's crazy is a lot of y'all came up to me and was like, I had a great time. So just know that like as long as you're like, but that's why I didn't feel like you guys weren't not having a good time. I was like, they probably tired. Let's get water. Yeah. They probably stressed. Let's make it easy. Let's make it simple. Yeah. So like as long as you're not letting your low energy kill your mood, and then giving that energy out, it's different, right? But yeah, cultivating. So playing around, I think you can do it. As long as you're, and honestly, if a teacher calls you out on it, walk out, bro. Like if that's because the teacher wasn't giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? And I know, like I'm always like, yo, let's talk about let's face a different way, face a partner, that's cultivating energy. So rely on that and start off the jump with that. And I think a lot of people think that, I mean, yes, the teacher needs to give it to you. I definitely set a bar, but y'all maintain it. You know what I mean? Like it's not, even with my voice going down, I feel like that's when y'all started like really picking it up, which was really nice to see because I knew we was in it together. Yeah? So just know, and if a space doesn't work like that, if you ain't feeling no connection with that teacher, don't go there. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't come in with, they don't have to be hyped like that. It's a different energy, right? Still peace, it's still like energy, right? But if they don't come with you with good energy, don't give your energy. Energy is money for me. I'd rather, bro, if energy could pay bills, I do this shit for free. I do not care. Like, I really don't. I just got bills. But like, sometimes I'll be like, yo, I could be like what are those niggas who be, not one of those niggas. What are those people who be going around all the time like backpackers? No, those are really backpackers? I almost said Notre Dame.
That's not anyways.
No, anyways. Sorry, we're having our own moment.
It's okay.
But I'm
cultivating. So.
Cultivating. Yeah. That's it. So yeah. If I always wanted to be like a backpacker. I just like, nomad. Notre Dame, nomad. Sorry.
Close.
I was close.
You were close. You got close.
We talk for
Ooh, yep. Yes, absolutely. There's two aspects to that for me. How did you transition styles? How did that feel?
kind of switched up, and I'll get in my head about things and like, okay, well, I'm battling a popper, so like I gotta be like not poppy, but like the energy gotta, like too analytical. So I learned very quick that I can't think anymore. I literally don't think. I'll do the same move over and over again, but the essence speaks volumes. So I think, I don't know if I'm answering your question at all, but that transition, again, the reason why I had to do it was because the choreo scene wasn't even, first it was like, I need to be this person to be, but that person was shit. So like a shitty person. So why am I trying to mimic the moves of someone who isn't a good role model? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, why am I being someone else? Even though when we was doing BMO and shit, I was still me. Like there was a part of me that was still me. It was an essence though. It wasn't a move. It's crazy because in this, I feel like I don't dance the way that I used to dance. And people will pull up videos like, yo, from here and here, and I'm like, I don't even know who that person is anymore. But it's so great that like, I just got to build like moves up so that I can do moves. But it's, to be honest, I ain't gonna lie to you, I haven't done any moves that I've learned in the choreo scene in freestyle, which is insane. I don't even do the, like, when I make house pieces, I don't even do those moves with a freestyle. The only one is this one because that's fun. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And it's okay. But, dude, God is so good. Like, I don't know how, like, the way that I shut off my brain. I have a battle coming up. Also gonna plug this in. You should go. Versailles having a free event next weekend. Y'all should really pull up. I'm gonna be there. So say hi. But that's just, I'll post that on Instagram. Maybe I'll send the foundation. Hopefully you can get info. I'm battling next week against people like Boogie Frantic and Beast and people that like are masters in there. But I just know that I'm a master of myself. And that's the only reason why I'm like, I know I can be there. I don't care if I win. But everyone's like, I'm a lab up. If y'all don't know what labbing up is, like practicing, right? I'm a lab up, creating some moves and things that like work with my body. And I'm over here like, I'm just gonna listen to music, go to an art show. I went to the Bay, like, and then watch the jam. I'm really doing a lot more life experience so I can go back to what I like so that I can show that product of like, this is just me. And I'm the best at me, and if I win a battle being the best me, that's great. And if I lose, at least I was still me. Yeah? I've lost battles trying to be someone else. Most of the time when I lost battles, I was trying to be someone else. Or I was in my head about I need to be doing these moves or whatever. It's the choreo side of things that started kicking in. So I guess, I don't know if you said a lot of it. Mental. It's a lot mental. I think a lot of transitions are mental. Like job switches, like major switches, things like that, friendship switches. I think a lot of it's mental. I think our mind, just like music before movement, I think it's our mind before our body. Because our mind controls our body. It's stupid. That's why I say wizard, Harry, and you immediately have a little don't talk to me like you wasn't. It's always your mind. So be very like aware and cognizant of like what your mind is saying about yourself as a person or in class or this. You say I can't do it, I didn't get it, then you won't. Yeah, I know this is diverting. If you say you can do it, you might do it. That's what's crazy. The brain is so powerful. Yeah? Why do you think like shit like placebos? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. The mind, you taking a sugar pill, like, oh, it cured me from some crazy thing. It's a sugar pill because you was like, I was working. You know what I'm saying? So be very aware. I think mental health is something that's like come up a lot because of the pandemic and like lockdown, specifically like being alone and having time to like think. And I feel like I wish dance had a lot more talks about like our mentality and not to be like, and I'm personally like, I know I come off like a certain like hard, whatever, but like not even in like an emotional, feely way, even though that's what it is a lot of the time. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but just in general, how do you think about yourself without needing to like cry about it? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what I think that's why people get like thrown off. So like, oh, well, like we're talking emotion. Like, yeah, man, happy, anger, bad bitch names. You know what I'm saying? That's still like mentality. It doesn't have to be happy. Like, I don't know how to explain, but I think overall, like your mind really will stunt you. Your mind will stunt your growth in like what you think is good and what you think is bad, and transitions will be harder because your brain's in the way. It's crazy. Not your body. Your body's so capable. Like you just learned a combo in an hour and did it really well. Like even if you got one move, my nigga, like if you got one move, you did it like an hour, I think that's ridiculous. Like still, In an hour, you got like 7 or 8 counts. And got one move. I don't know. That's just wild to me. Like, you shouldn't. It should take rehearsals to feel confident, but y'all was dancing like it was, you know what I mean? Anyway, sorry, I'm done. I don't know.
We're about to undergo our second workshop, but really quick, I just want to, if y'all have any final remarks for us, feel free to share really quick.
Yeah, really quickly, it's Black History Month, but it doesn't feel like it. It don't. And I think it's because, right, no, but like, I also think it's because, especially in the dance community right now, Black History Month is about celebrating Blackness. It is not about amplifying Black voices. Amplifying Black voices is something that should be done year-round, not just when a Black person dies. And I especially think that the dance community thinks that celebrating Blackness means uplifting Black trauma. Black trauma is not entertainment at all. And I think this month, it doesn't feel like Black History Month because people don't know how to appreciate Black joy instead of Black trauma. So that's what this is today. You get to see Black joy, unabandoned Black joy. I don't give a fuck about respectfully, I don't give a fuck about the external because me and Ruthie are out here having the fucking time of our lives. And it doesn't matter because we should be able to. Why? Because we're still in a community that feels unsafe. We're still in a community where people are comfortable standing back in silence as people that look like us get killed with no justice, but still feel comfortable teaching hip hop and profiting off of the Black community for their careers to pay their bills. So it's either or, you can't do both. You can't appropriate Black culture and teach it at the same time. That's not what we're doing. So the community is at a standstill right now. And it's not just the dance community, it's the community in general that doesn't know what to do. They don't know how to celebrate Blackness because they haven't seen it. Why? Because Black people don't feel safe enough to be joyful in front of y'all. I'm not going to experience my unabandoned joy in front of somebody that wouldn't stand up for me if a police officer pulled me over and they were in my passenger seat and they decided to just do this. I'm not going to dance with you. I'm not going to freestyle with you. I'm not going to have you experience. You're not going to see me smile, period. Because I'm not going to, I know what Black joy feels like in my body and you're not going to experience that, period. Especially in an art form that is a Black art form, period. And appropriation does not have to just be dance. It is in the way that you wear your clothes, the music that you listen to. It is all Black, period. Yeah. K-pop, Black, period. Blackness is all around you, whether you like it or not. So you need to figure out where you are in this fight. Are you an ally or not? Because we're at the point where you deciding if you want to be an ally or not is out the table. You already need to have the actionable steps to protect the Black people in your life if you want to be in these spaces. Because this right now, not usual. You don't usually have 2 Black women on the lineup. And I'll be honest, never. Me and Ruthie don't get to do these types of jobs together, ever. Think about why that is. I know exactly why that is, but you think, based off of your community, what you've learned. And at the end of the day, we are still sitting here, 2 Black women that are getting paid less than our rate today during Black History Month. Think about that. And that has nothing to do with a certain organization. That is not it. I have got asked to teach for free multiple times this month, and I have declined. The reason why I came here is because I'm an alumni of this school, and I care about this community. Even though this community laughed at me when I tried to make Vino, cackled at me when I had auditions in Lot 7, and only 13 people were on the team. I feel a connection to this community. That's why I am here teaching you $300 under my rate. That is why I'm here. But that is the community that we are in. We are in a community that is okay having Black women teach for under their rate, but still will look at Breonna Taylor and say nothing. And we're teaching you for what? For what? Because we could be at home. We're still in a pandemic. We could be at home protecting our peace, protecting our energy during Black History Month. But we're here. Why? Because we love dance. Because we are in love with dance. Does that make sense? That's where we're at. And this is not a dig to foundation because we've already talked. I wouldn't have taught here if I didn't have like a sure tangible list of a zero tolerance policy, what happened with the past, over the pandemic with foundations. I've been very clear about it. So I would not be here speaking with you if I did not feel like my time was valued or I was respected in this space. Same thing for Ruthie. And there's history here at UCLA, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But if this was not UCLA, if I did not have this bond, and I got the email like, hey, we can't pay you your rate, I would not be here. Does that make sense? That's what we're fighting up against. So what can you do as an ally to help that? What can you do to make sure that this doesn't happen again? Same thing with foundations. Have only me and Ruthie teach. Ruthie teach one day, I teach the other day. You pay us our full rate. Does that make sense? Like, these are the things that we need to do. We need to open up these spaces for the people that are actually doing the work, that know the history. And we don't know the history just because we're black. We do the work on top of being black, on top of being attacked. We're still educated. We're still talented. We're still loving, still passionate. So what can you do to support the people that are doing this on low funds, but still making it happen behind the scenes? What can you do to be a little bit kinder to the black people in your life? What can you do to uplift the people that are going to be in these positions in 6 years? The black women that are here, what are you doing to uplift them? What are you doing to make them feel safe right now? Because they might be right here in 6 years. You don't know that. Because at the end of the day, when I went here, I was just like y'all. Nobody knew I was gonna be this. I was right here amongst all of y'all, walking on Bruin Walk, doing everything that we need to do. And now I'm here because I've had that confidence. And also because I've had people in my life that have supported me. Do not wait until the person who is being attacked reaches out for help. You need to be the one to support them first. Don't wait until someone who's at the bottom of the barrel uses their last 1% of their breath to ask for help. You need to be the one to put them in that environment that makes them feel safe enough to experience the joy that everyone else is going to appropriate for the next 10 years. That's the position that y'all are in if you want to be even near hip-hop dance right now. Even close to it. Your proximity to this dance is dependent on your safety. It's dependent on your protection of the black people that will get killed first before you in a lineup. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the fact that there are people being killed off right now. Killed off. But yet you're over here. You don't know where that move comes from. You don't know where that passion comes from. You don't know that hip hop started in the fucking streets. But that's where we come from. Hip hop is black struggle turned into black joy. So you cannot experience that without understanding what we're going through. You don't have to go through what we go through in order to participate in it, but you have to understand it. You can't just see and hear us anymore. That's bullshit. You have to see, hear, and understand us to even be close to this space. Does that make sense? And that the joy I have when I teach, the joy Ruthie has when she teaches, is that because we've experienced the complete opposite of that spectrum. Because we've been at rock bottom, we know what it feels like to be here, and I will be nothing less than here. Does that make sense? So you, again, I'm looking at every single one of you, black or not. You are in a black space right now. Even if me and Ruthie weren't teaching, you're around hip hop. Foundations, yeah, you're in a black space. So what are you going to do about it? Because we're still in 2022, we're still in a pandemic, we're still getting killed off. So what now? We need to have actionable steps. You already need to have that zero tolerance policy for yourself. If you see something, say something. Same thing with the word nigga. You can't say it, but if you see somebody else who cannot say it, says it, you need to be the one to say something. Do not wait until the black person who feels so uncomfortable and so like, oh, can you not say that? No. You as the ally can be like, hey, don't say that. That's inappropriate. Because black women understand what it's like to fight for every single other cause and then turn around and have absolutely nobody extending their hand when we need it. So what are you doing to be that hand for somebody? Not just your favorite celebrity, not just Beyonce, not Rihanna. No, the black women in your life, the black men in your life that need that help right now, that are experiencing, watching everybody. Look at what we went through in 2020. And now we know everybody knows what's going on. Nobody can claim that they're ignorant. Nobody can claim that I just didn't know about it. No, everybody knows about it. So now black people have to deal with re-entering this community, knowing that nothing has changed, but everybody knows what's going on. So you are choosing to act this way. You cannot say that you don't understand how black people are treated in this country. You now absolutely know, and you are watching that and you are acting the same. And it is making the black people in your life feel like shit. I will say it for them if they cannot say it themselves. And that's also why I teach the way that I do. Not everybody is strong enough to say these things right now. And I hope you fucking post this. I hope you post this. I hope you post this online, and I hope you share that. Because I mean that. And I think more people should be in this panel. I don't give a fuck about my class right now. I give a fuck about this. I give a fuck about this. The talking. This part of it. Because this is what's going to allow you to feel a certain type of way in my class. Because my class is nothing but performance and feeling the joy of that. But that first has to be established. You have to understand your role in this room. You have to understand your role in this community and how you can help. And it is not lost on anybody that it is Black History Month, but it does not feel like it because, again, you don't know how to support black people if they aren't dying. So think about that. How can you support somebody? And it doesn't even have to be black people. Literally, how can you support somebody without having to wait until something tragic happens to make you feel bad about not supporting them faster? Do something today that no one asked you to do that you know is going to help somebody feel protected or safe in their own bodies. That's what we're working with. So it's not about the dancing aspect of it. It is about the support and the respect that you give to the people who are still teaching at this time when we see no change in an art form that is ours. Does that make sense? So again, it's not, you have to go back and learn all the history. Yes, that is a necessary step if you would like to be in the community in the same way that we are. If you want to teach, if you want to have that knowledge. But if you don't have this knowledge right now, the least you can do is protect the black people around you. Support the black people around you if you are going to be this close to a black art form. Regardless if you're learning it online, learning it in this room, or seeing and going to performances where you see hip hop. It is your bare minimum duty right now to protect the people that are being attacked, period. Do not wait until they say something, because by the time black people say something, it's already done. It's already rock bottom. So do not wait until that moment. And I have to say that because of the fact that I mean, this is such a beautiful moment that we get to have. I don't usually get to teach with Ruthie in that way, and it was like not like, but again, why doesn't it feel like it? It's not up to black people to be like, oh, can you please support us for black people? Ooh, definitely not that time. But again, don't wait for the people who need help to ask for it. You have the actionable steps, and you witness what you witnessed in 2020 for a reason. So change, do something with what you've learned. You have all these things in your toolbox. You have it. A lot of us were on Zoom. A lot of us witnessed all these things. What did you learn from it? That is where you come from when you dance. That's where I come from when I dance. That's why I'm not going to be around other people who cannot experience black joy, because I'm not dancing if I'm not feeling it. I protect my energy in that way. So the people that do not deserve my energy will not have it. But that also means that I, as an artist, have to remove myself from spaces that pay my bills because they're not safe. That's where I'm at. And I would rather protect my peace than lower my boundaries for abusers or people that feel as if it's more okay to appropriate than to support these people. I will bring myself out of these situations. So that is my own accord. And because I'm trying to protect myself, I'm losing my coin. I'm losing my money. So who's protecting me? That's an open-ended question. Who is protecting me? Right. Nobody in this building can answer that question. Not even me. I'm still looking for protection right now. So, if it's me, it's you. If it's you, it's me. So if I feel this way, there's somebody in your life that feels like that. Or if it's not you, somebody else. So take that with a grain of salt. If you feel some type of way, you're like, what the fuck? Wear that shoe comfortably. Wear that shoe comfortably. If the shoe fits, wear it well. And if you feel like, okay, I need to do something, do something. That's what impact does. So if you feel any type of impact, if you feel like you want to do something, that's what black women can do. Period. But that's because we're constantly under that pressure and have to deliver every single time. It doesn't matter what's happening. So you see that smile on my face, but this is what's happening behind the scenes. And now I've learned how to smile under this pressure. But that's how a diamond is fucking made. So you have to figure out if you want to be there before they turn into a diamond or when they're here, so you can support them in their best life. That's where we need to be figuring it out. But the dance community has no knowledge and no want to support the Black people in the community. They just want to copy and they just want to profit. So what are you going to do to support the people who are actually giving energy, actually impacting them? That's up to you. And to be honest, it's here. It's in the money that you spend. It's in the classes that you choose to support, the teachers you choose to support. Your money is not, the money that you give to the choreographers that you support, that's paying their bills. If you're going to go to a class just to get an Instagram video, we're not where we need to be at all. So you have to think about your energy. Your energy is currency as well. Where you spend your energy is giving that choreographer, like, oh, I think I'm doing the right thing. So you have to be cautious about where you spend your energy, your time, and your money. And it has to be with those people that are doing the work, or the people that your morals line up. If you take an abuser's class, I am going to assume that you also identify with their morals. That's where we're at. So if you're hopping into a class because it's cool and you like it and it's good, but at this time, after all that we've been through, without anybody else's opinion, who are the dancers that you are inspired by? Who are the dancers that make you feel something? What are their skin colors? How popular are they? You have to go through this list and figure out who you support, who you resonate with without any external validation, and then look at what that is. If there are no Black people on that list and you are a part of the hip hop community, you need some serious work. Serious work. And you need to go back and figure out, okay, out of those people that you felt inspired by, who are their teachers? Who did they learn from? Maybe you need to take one of their classes. Maybe we need to go back. And again, it's not up to the Black people to feed you this advice in 2022 after we went through all that we went through. But I have a deep, deep, deep bond with this school and this area and even in this organization. So that is why I'm speaking in the way that I'm speaking. I will not do this for other spaces that do not deserve my time in that way and that will not compensate me for this work. It is an emotional labor for me to be speaking like this right now because I have to tap into that space. And how I can tap into that space so fast is because it happens every single fucking day. This is what we deal with behind the scenes. You don't just see the cool Instagram videos and whoop, 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 and that's it. There is the struggle that is going on behind the scenes, and that what you see on Instagram is a small snippet. And if you're not even willing to support that small snippet, even a share, a post, a comment, if you're not even willing to support those Black creators on your timeline right now, then you do not deserve, much less you shouldn't be able to be in these spaces. Again, if you feel some type of way about my words right now, it's not a dig on you, it's an invitation to do better. It is calling you in, it is not calling you out. But I would rather be called in than know that my actions or my absence of my actions are hurting people that I love. So if you really love the people around you, then take this as a wake-up call. Take this as a reassessment. And the same thing for the Black women in here, take this as a relaxation. Breathe, relax. The people around you will show up if they need to, and if they don't show up, fucking leave. Because your life is more valuable than your accomplishment or what a product that you are to other people. And I know it hurts, and I know it's really, really tough right now. So if you need anything, I'm here, but also you need to let them go. You need to let them go because they'll copy you, they will take from you, and they will leave you when you need it. So if you feel like that, take some time to relax and breathe and receive. Be in the energy to receive because this month is about you. So if the people around you really care and they really are about it, they will show up for you. And if by the end of the month you're like, ooh, I don't feel it, time to switch. Time to look somewhere else. But what I know is you will always find a home because you are always that heart. You are always that passion. And that's the same thing with culture. Black women are always the ones that get appropriated, always the ones that are fed off of, but never given the light. So if you know that, you can see that in media, show up for somebody right now. Show up for somebody in your life. After this class, text somebody. Tell somebody that you appreciate them this month. Whatever it is. Small gestures, it doesn't have to be a lot. And yeah, I don't care that I'm going into my own class time because that's my class time. But I do think that this is something that needs to be said. Not just for people in this room, but if you are impacted by that, then you need to share whatever this footage is once it comes out. And you need to really if you're really impacted, you're not just gonna be like, oh, that was a great talk. You're going to take actionable steps to then show that you heard me and understood me. So for the people in this room, you don't have to say anything to me after class, like, thank you so much for the talk. Act. Make that ripple effect. Act. Do something. That will show me. That will be enough. You don't have to say anything to me, but knowing that everybody in this room goes out and does one actionable step to make somebody who is Black feel a little bit safer in this community, I have done my job. So you don't have to say anything, just do it. Just be about that action, because we're a lot about this and we're not taking those steps. So do something today, after this class, after I talk, after Ruthie talks, whatever it is, just fucking do something. And that's not directed to you personally, that's directed to the community and the energy that we're in. We're crying for help right now and still having to push forward. So again, if you can help in any way, please do. And helping doesn't always have to be saying what Black people say, but a little bit louder. Sometimes it's just supporting the Black people who are talking all the time and giving them the space to relax, giving them the space to just be, giving them the space to not have to be scared and protect them. So again, each person is different. The Black people in your life are different. The people you're inspired by are different. So now you know how to show up the best for your friends or the people in your life. So please, please, please do after you walk out of this room. I don't got no, you can leave it with that. But let me just
Okay, it's very interesting that we're both teaching for 90 minutes, but our panel's 30 minutes. It gives, and this is no dig, it gives an impression that you want what I can give you and not what I can tell you. You don't want to hear me, but you want to see me. You know? Does that make sense? So like, just pay attention to that. I'm still here. Like again, I would not be here if I wasn't deaf. And I have so much love for what UCLA gave to me as a student, as a non-student, as somebody who's just an LA native, right? As somebody who couldn't afford to live with UCLA. So like, and then I'm this also just like UCLA community, because it is its own thing. These teams and like, what are y'all doing as a unit? Because I think competition kind of separated everyone. And I was never on any of those teams. But what are you doing as a unit to be respectful to things like hip hop and to Black culture? Yeah. So like, but a lot of that's conversation, not just team, but together. Zero tolerance policies, not just one team, but one every year. That's what we can build. And then UCLA does that, Irvine does that, SoCal does that, NorCal does that, California does that.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? I think a lot of us think, remember the little details? We think little stepping stones, the flow, the bigger picture. Think about that. Think about all the Black people at all these universities. And it's crazy because I was honestly, like, I know I didn't go to UCLA, but I was on the community page on Facebook, so yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because I'm not going to lie to you, like, and I know that this isn't a reflection of the whole community here at UCLA as dancers, but I thought, like, us two making it as far as we did, I thought there was going to be more than, like, 3 niggas here. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just being honest, I really was like, there's about to be Black people. And I know that the school is also a reflection of that. Yeah. But I know that you guys do invite other people outside. Like, how did I make it? How did I get in these walls? I didn't go to school here. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I really, like, it was something like I walked in, I was like, it's the same. It's been how many years? It's the same. It's weird. Yeah. And it's the same, but everybody knows. But it's like, don't you, again, for people who created hip-hop, I would love to see diversity in general, in the space, equal amounts, you know what I'm saying? Of everybody. But it's just one, with like sprinkles of here and there. Yeah? I don't know, that's just my opinion. And I feel like remember how it's like, you might be dancing for today, you might be dancing for fun. But man, like, what about people who died for, like, to just express themselves through music and dance? And I'm not talking about just Black people in New York. I'm talking about people like in different countries. Like expressing yourself is like looked down upon in a lot of places. But we get to do it here. We don't try to make it. We don't try to do it correct. Yeah. But I don't know. I really like, that's the one thing that really got to me. The panel, just one, it's just us two out of all the 4 choreographers. Like, that's weird. And then, like, it being 30 minutes when you know there's so much to talk about. And then just questions. How'd you fall in love with dance? You know what I'm saying? Like, fitting for the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can ask me for sure, but like, what, like, you have 2 Black people who went through the worst of this community. Like, this is probably a lot better than what it was. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I hope. I hope it's even like a percentage more. Yep. It could be the same. But us going, and Danyel went through more. And Danyel went to school here. I just went to coffee. Ooh, don't tell me that. I just went and kicked it. Took a nap. But like, for us two, or especially Danyel, and I say this because I really like Danyel to go through all that shit. Be like the only black girl in the scene. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm just saying. Don't fact check it. Right. Being the only black girl in the scene, like, only black female director. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like solo. Anyways, but then it's crazy to me. But we still got 3 niggas in here, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just very fitting that like maybe we don't bring enough black people to come and teach. Or like people from the culture, you know, to teach these teams. You're like pillars of your community. To then make those spaces not just about what it used to be back in the day. I don't know. But I say let that soak in. That's why I'm not trying to talk about it, because that's it. But it's crazy because you've been saying this from the jump. So anyway, yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. But yeah, on a hip hop note, Versailles event next Saturday, 26th, I believe. Go and watch people who respectfully are in the culture. Doesn't mean you need to be a freestyler, by the way. But watch, because I'm the only black girl on there. But why don't I feel spiteful? Like I don't feel the type of way. I do feel like the type of way when it's just me and Danyel being the and maybe like one or like me and Danyel are the only consistent people at some of these studios, and then other people get trickled in, which is weird because I'm not trying to be the monolith either. I'm not trying. I want to create space. I literally want 2 other black people here next year. You know what I'm saying? And panels more. Y'all need to talk more. Y'all need to have more talking, less dancing. Because clearly some of y'all ain't ready for it. But that's like a community thing. Sorry, that's not a UCLA. That's an everybody. Y'all need to talk more. Y'all just trying to keep it pushing because COVID, like it feels like things went away, and we're trying to go back to our like racetrack of a life. Like no, we're not there yet. We still need to talk. We're just not in Zoom calls no more, which is great because now you can feel my energy and not on the screen. Because before you could turn it off, I'm here loud. Anyways, all right, that's it. Sorry. I've heard. Danyel's go.
All right, really quick again, very thankful for Danyel Ruthie to be very vulnerable and really being impactful for us. And myself included, I encourage everyone to really challenge yourselves and educate yourselves. Have some integrity and take actionable steps.
Yeah! Alright, so anything fun? You know what I mean? We're gonna breathe a little bit. We're gonna let the air out. You know what I'm saying? So get some water, come back into the space. We gonna figure it out. So get some water, come back into the space, let's get it. Woo!